I can hear it clearly, to stand for purity and what's pleasing to your hearts. You are showing me, I can see it clearly, a sense of destiny, a change from everything around. Take me by the hand and show me what you're planning. I wanna be a part of your design. Guide me by the heart and show me what's the...
My greatest obstacle was definitely that I was not spiritually prepared for the trip. I came into it thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be great. I've been reading my Bible more, I've been fasting more, it should be enough. But I was not prepared for the spiritual oppression that is present in Haiti but isn't present in our Christian nation of America. One day I got pretty sick and I didn't feel good at all. God used that, and He knew that I would go to Him and run to Him when there was nothing else. And so He used my illness to guide me to the Bible, and I was constantly in His Word the entire time I wasn't feeling well. And I was listening to praise and worship music, and I was really on my knees and my eyes were completely focused on Him. And that's when I learned that I had to be focused on God the entire time that I was in Haiti.
The greatest obstacle I had to overcome was probably the fact that I'm pretty impatient with almost everyone around me. I overcame it by realizing that everyone else's predicament in Haiti was a lot worse than whatever I had going on. So I just every time I felt impatient, just kind of kept it in and thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of other stuff going on that's not about me.
The greatest obstacle I had to overcome was my flesh and the spirit of neglect that just came over me entirely. Every day I kind of felt a little bit of neglect and kind of abandoned, and I don't honestly know why. The enemy just really attacked me in that area of my life. But I was able to overcome by having God right there beside me the whole time, knowing that I could turn to Him, that He would never neglect me, and just reading His Word, that He said, you know, you are my child and I will be with you, just really helped a lot. And singing and praising Him all week long just completely took that feeling away from me.
The greatest obstacle I had to overcome on this trip was the anxiety about our group. The last time I went to Haiti, I went with a group that I was really, really close to and got to spend a year preparing for the trip. But this time we went with people that we didn't even know from other churches and from Rescue Atlanta, and that scared me a lot. But I overcame it by just trusting in God and believing that everyone was there for a reason, and to just get to know them and see where it goes from there.
My greatest obstacle in Haiti was probably just going out of my comfort zone. I'm so used to eating the food I like, sleeping in my bed, knowing the people around me, and just not really going out of that comfort zone. And especially with one of my biggest fears over my whole life is praying for people, or even just praying in general. I mean, it wasn't one of the things I like to do. And so I got to Haiti, and all of my fears and just my comfort zone just kind of expanded, and I knew that was God. The first night in Haiti, we were told what we were going to do the next day, and they said we were going to go out and pray for people in the different villages and stuff, and I was so scared, and I wanted to go home so bad because I was so outside my comfort zone. And so I had some people pray with me, and I had a peace, and the next day we went out to the villages, and the second house we went to, one of the leaders in my group told me to pray for this woman who was having a test the next day in her school. And at first I was like, no, I'm not called to pray for this woman and stuff, but I did it, and I just knew it was a God thing because the things I was saying just came right off my tongue, and it was an amazing feeling just to overcome that huge obstacle that had been such a huge, I guess, hindrance between me and God, and to overcome that was just a great feeling. So
I wanna be used by you.
I learned that I get distracted easily, and that it's a lot harder to focus on God when there are more spiritual distractions than usual, and that I really have to discipline myself to keep my eyes on Him.
I learned that I can sweat a lot more than I thought possible.
I learned that I don't need anyone else's approval but God's. It doesn't really matter what others think of me as long as God sees what I have on the inside and sees who I am on the inside and sees a heart of purity and a heart of consecration to Him, and just that all I really need is Him, and that's going to get me through everything that comes my way.
I learned that how peaceful I was in Haiti. I learned that I might be meant to live overseas.
What I learned about myself is that there was no limits when I was in Haiti to how God was using me, or how He worked through me, and how I was able to perform what He wanted me to do.
You're planning. I wanna be a part of your design.
I'll remember that the people in Haiti are just like people in America. They're just like normal Christians, except they live different.
I learned that I can do almost anything if God has a plan for it.
I will always remember the willingness and urgency of the youth that were in Haiti, their desire to be different. It wasn't so much that they knew exactly how to overcome the oppression that was there, but they knew that something needed to be different. And when they came to the Arise Haiti services, they really found that desire, and you could just see it welling up within them, and they were able to see a light at the end of their dark tunnel there, and just that they knew that if they kept on pressing and they kept on listening, that they would learn more about Him.
Thank you. One thing I'll never forget about the trip is working in the clinic. I never thought that that's something I would be interested in at all, but it really was an awesome experience to be able to be there side by side with the missionaries and helping them treat people that come in on a regular basis.
Right, what I'll always remember was when we'd be walking through the villages when we were praying for people, and I'd look around and I'd see just the beautiful trees and mountains and water, and then I'd look even closer and I'd see just the shacks around me and the wild dogs, and I'd wonder, how do these people even how are they happy? Because in America we have nice things and people still aren't happy. And I just remember going from house to house and we'd ask them, do you have anything for us to pray for you about? And they'd say, no, we're blessed, no, we're fine. And that's just something I always take with me, because they know what true happiness is about, and they know that God is the only one who will give them happiness. And that just showed me that I just need to have a reality check sometimes, and it was just awesome.
One way that I saw God move on this trip was in the way our team changed. We weren't focused on worldly things or text messages or Facebook or Twitter. All of a sudden you could see the change in everyone slowly happening as their eyes turned from the things of the world and our American lifestyles and customs to God and everything holy, and they poured themselves out in prayer and in worship, and it was pretty amazing.
So it rains here when there's a 30% chance of rain. In Haiti, every day there was an 80% chance or a 90% chance of rain. And it rained every day for the first 2 days. On the third day, wow, that was biblical. On the third day, it was a 90% chance of rain. There was clouds everywhere, and when it came time for us to do our service, we were like, we could really use some sunshine, and God provided. He stopped the rain.
I saw God in so many ways in Haiti, and the people there are just so incredible. And I saw God moving mostly in the hearts of the people that are there. You could see Him transforming people's lives without them even knowing it. We heard so many people saying that they wanted something to change, they wanted their life to be different, they wanted to be better people, but they didn't know how. And that just opened the door for us to be able to pray with them and lead them to salvation, and it was amazing to see God move in that way.
One thing I saw God do on this trip was just how much He wanted us to know that He was there. Every time we had a need or a prayer, He would make sure that we knew He was showing up.
When I just really surrendered everything and just gave it all to God, I remember Tuesday, the prayer time we had in the morning, I really actually prayed to God, and I really had quiet time with Him, and I just feel like once I gave everything to Him, He really, first of all, got me closer to the team. I finally saw that He was moving through me, and I had one of the best experiences of my life.